Yeah. Some people would say that, he just lost. Makes sense for him to kind of fight Caleb Plant now. Caleb Plant is just coming off that loss, but is that dangerous from the standpoint of Caleb is he's not a big puncher. He's a sharp puncher for sure, but it's just like, all right, now he loses to Caleb Plant, and now it's just like, all right, really, where do you take this kid? So, and he's also 28 years old. Like, can you see a world where it's just like, yeah, he can rebuild for like 2 years, or maybe his next fight will be like a little bit of a, not a little bit, a major step down, and then maybe get him like a big fight, like a Jermall Charlo or something like that. Do you see, like, which one do you think is maybe more feasible, I guess you could say?
I think that they would probably rather fight Caleb now because Caleb is coming off a loss, if I'm being totally honest. And Charlo's not. So I think they probably would rather fight Caleb now, but I don't know. I don't know how him and his team feel. I felt that they always could have fought Caleb, and I always got the feeling that they thought Caleb was a bad style for Edgar. But now that Caleb has lost, and I think that then it would be more practical to probably try to fight Caleb. But who knows? I don't want to speak for anybody and what they're thinking, but that's just me guessing that you would rather fight a guy coming off a loss than a guy coming off a win if you have a choice. So I think that they probably would be open to probably fighting Caleb because at least that'll keep them in the same tax bracket that they like to be in.
Yeah. Um, Shiraz though, where does he kind of go from here? He's a really good fighter. And
Yeah, he is good.
he's
He's good.
now he's now the WBC like mandatory. That technically doesn't really mean too much. Like Benavidez was the mandatory.
It surely didn't mean much when Benavidez was the mandatory. I'm
That's what
not
I'm
trying to be funny,
saying.
but it really didn't. It didn't mean much when he was the mandatory. So who knows how that works?
Exactly. So, but it's I feel like this is like really difficult to even talk about right now, like him and Canelo, because Canelo might not be Crawford. So it's kind of difficult to talk about. So what
You
does
know what,
Shiraz
man? I read something that says that Hamzah Sheeraz deserves a shot at Canelo, and I'm like, don't Canelo fight September 13th? I
against
don't
a
know,
great
man.
fighter?
Maybe it's just me, but I just feel like that. I don't want to act like I'm taking up for Terrence Crawford because he don't need me to take up for him. He has a great team and he's a strong individual. But I just feel like that, like that's like it kind of.
Disrespectful?
I don't want to use the word disrespectful, but it like distorts it. It might compromise a little bit the integrity of the event when you already are saying that one guy is going, deserves a shot at Canelo, and Canelo has a tough fight on his hands September 13th. I didn't understand that. If Canelo didn't have a fight, I would see it. Or if he was fighting 100-1 underdog, like in the tune-up fight, I would see it. But he's fighting like what's considered almost a super fight against an undefeated great fighter. And Terrence Crawford, when I saw that, I was like, damn, like because Crawford's gonna have a tough time stopping Canelo. Like Canelo got one of the best chins in the history of boxing, and he's not only that, he could punch, and he got, you know, he don't just have a chin, he got good defense. So the chances of Crawford stopping Canelo is going to be tough. So it's most likely going to go the distance if Crawford is to win the fight. So when I saw that, I was like, damn, man, but it ain't me. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I didn't understand that comment with such a big fight coming up.
For sure. And I seen an interview with Shiraz, and he was saying that he would like to still be active, even if he was to get the Canelo fight. Got to see how the whole Crawford thing plays out. And even if Canelo wins, which, man, that's a 50-50 fight. I'm not sleeping on Crawford at all. But it's a 50-50 fight, and Canelo doesn't fight until 2026 of May. So, Shiraz wants to stay active. So, what do you think makes sense for him? And before you answer that, I'll throw a name out there because he actually called me and we were talking about it. He was just like, yo, he would want that fight. And it was Demetrius Andrade. He was just like, yeah, if he get like a fight or two in between, he'd want to fight a guy like Shiraz. Just told me that yesterday. So, what do you think makes sense
So
for?
wait, Dimitri and Andre would need a fight or two in between before he fought Shiraz.
Well, he hasn't fought
Is
since.
that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, he called me. He was just like he wants to fight Shiraz, and but he was also just like he hasn't fought since November 2023. Yeah, he said if he could get at least one fight and then fight a Shiraz, like yo, he would want to do it. So I was just like throwing his name out there just so you could be like, all right, maybe. But who do you think makes the most sense for him?
I
Like,
actually like the fight for both of them, but the problem is if Demetrius will want one or two fights in, Shiraz will have they will have to like he will have to get that tune-up fight in like within the next month or so, and then him and Shiraz will have to be ready to go by November or December. Because what Shiraz is not going to do is he's not going to overschedule and take himself out of a big fight because of Andre. You feel what I'm trying to say? So
yeah,
like usually a lot of big fights happen in like May. So Demetrius can't wait for so long to get his tune-up fights because Shiraz is not going to take himself out of a huge big pay-per-view type of event just to fight Demetrius Andre in a non-title fight. I think it's possible if they on the same time schedule, but Demetrius will have to get his tune-up fight like within the next month or so, and then he will have to be ready for Shiraz by November, no later than the first week of December. One thing I'm sure you know, Hans, is they don't make big fights around Christmas time in America. You know what I'm saying? So
man,
you gotta get your big fights by the first week of December, or you're gonna be waiting to the next calendar year. So
yeah.
Demetrius has time, but he will have to get on it. But I like that fight. That's a good fight, and I think that Shiraz, um, he has the kind of style where he probably wouldn't shy away from a awkward southpaw. You know what I mean? Because he has like the long arms. He has a good lead right hand. He already stopped Hamzah Sheeraz. He went up against Adames who switches, so he probably wouldn't shy away from a guy like Demetrius who has like that awkward style that a lot of people don't want to face. So I think that's a good fight.
Is that the number one fight you would say, or is it like and then Billy?
No,
It's
it's
that's
not the number one fight. It's a lot of bigger names out there than Demetrius, but you asking me would it be, could it be a solid fight? I'm saying yes, but it wouldn't be the number one fight for Shiraz. Shiraz is making big money and he got a big UK and Middle Eastern background and Turkey Al Sheikh loves him, so he can get paid wherever he goes. He don't really need Demetrius. I'm just throwing it out there that that would be a good fight because you asked me. But he
it.
could go a lot of places with fights. He could fight Jermall Charlo. Um, excuse me. He could fight Diego Pacheco. It's a lot of guys he could fight. You know what I mean? So he could pretty much write his own ticket until he gets a title shot.